So I'm sitting inside of this Honda Civic Sport Hatchback. This is a 2024 model, and in the next like 2-3 minutes, I'm gonna quickly go over all of the different things related to this car and how it stacks up to other makes and models out there in the world. So let's go. All right, so at the front of this car, you've got a 2-liter engine putting out 158 horsepower. So I'm gonna throw that comparison up so you can see how this car stacks up to other makes and models out there in the world. While that's up, I'll remind you, the LX and the Sport have that 2-liter engine. If you get in that EXL or that Sport Touring, then you're looking at that 1.5-liter engine that's gonna put out some additional horsepower. So be aware of those changes and differences. Now let's talk about miles per gallon. This car gets 29 in the city and 37 on the highway. Understand some of those other trim levels are about a mile per different, that 30 and 37-ish, 38-ish, right? So understanding depending on the trim you could be there, but I want to throw a comparison up so you can see how this specific trim level stacks up to other makes and models out there in the world. Now, after we talked about miles per gallon, let's talk about front row leg space. You've got 42.3 inches of leg space inside of this vehicle. Quite a bit of space, right? I'm sitting here comfortably, 6 foot, 250, not a little guy, right? So understand that. I want to do a comparison up so you can see how this car stacks up to other makes and models out there in the world. Now, after that, let's jump to the second row. Second row, this car has 37.4 inches of leg space. It's decent, right? I can sit behind myself and be okay. If I took a long road trip, would I be okay? Probably, but I could use a little bit more space. Now, if you're jumping into the Accord, you could get that extra 3 inches of leg space, but I don't know that that makes a difference, and I don't know if you really want an Accord, right? But hopefully you got a chance to look at the comparison of this car's second row leg space compared to other makes and models out there in the world. Understand all these comparisons I've done so far. If you're looking at a 23, they're all the exact same, makes no difference. 2023, 2024, almost identical car. After that, let's talk about cargo space. So in the back of this car, with the seats folded up, you had 24.5 cubic feet of space inside of the vehicle. So I want to throw a comparison up on the screen so you can see how this car stacks up to other makes and models out there in case you're hatchback shopping and you want to understand. Now, when you flip those seats down, you've got, I believe, 46.2 cubic feet of space back there, so pretty decent, right? But I want you to understand how that stacks up to other makes and models out there in the world. So I'll throw that up on the screen as well. Now, outside of that, what do I think about this car and the trim level specifically? The Sport trim is kind of deceiving in the sense that they call it a Sport, but the performance really isn't any better. It actually gets better when you go up to the EX, right? Which doesn't make that much sense to me, but it has a performance-based look. If you want black alloy wheels, if you want a body package, certain trims and different things like that, it can make a difference. But while we're talking about that, I quickly want to revisit and just say, hey, if you're thinking about the Sport trim and you want to know if I drop down to the LX, how much money is it going to save me and what items am I giving up, I'm going to throw that up on the screen. And then after that, if you're thinking, I like the Sport, but do I want to go up to that EXL and spend that extra money? Do I want that leather? Do I want the additional speakers? Do I want some of those extras? I want to throw that up on the screen so you can understand what that's going to cost you, and two, what is the list of items that is going to get you by spending that extra money. So if you liked all that content, but you wish you could get a little bit more out of it, right? Understand that I have a YouTube channel that has much more information related to that. So go ahead and hop on over to my YouTube channel. It's Justin Fuller Reviews, and you can see this car and all the additional information that I provide on it, the walk around, the shots, the cameras, the touchscreen, all the different things. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, and all the things. Later, guys!